Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I will be working in my faith journal. This is a faith journal, or this is a journal from Archer and Olive. It's 8x8 size. This was a collaboration that they did, and I have really enjoyed using it as my faith journal this year. So I'm going to continue in here. I am still working through More Jesus, Less of the World from Illustrated Faith, and today I'm looking at the section that is called Be Thou My Vision. So I'll be journaling in there. I have all my goodies from the kit gathered, and I will keep you guys, or I will put you guys on fast forward. I will definitely link everything that I end up using down below so you can check it out. Otherwise, let's go. So I was thinking about how much I loved the washi tape that was released alongside this kit and how I had not used it very often in my journaling. And so I decided to go ahead and use it in the background. Washi tape is one of those supplies that can be used for all kinds of things. This is a great idea if you have bleed through on your journaling pages. I don't in this case, but I thought the patterns were beautiful. I thought the colors would be fantastic. And so I just laid it in a vertical pattern with the ampersand washi tape 2 deep, and then this beautiful purple color as well. I think it kind of looks like wallpaper in the background, and I love that it sets the stage for the rest of this page. So just another fun way to use all of the gorgeous washi tape that I know we've all been collecting over time. Once I have it all in place, I'll just use my scissors and trim off all of these edges so I have a nice clean edge to work with, and that is going to set the background for this page. I also was thinking of all of the beautiful ephemera pieces, both the acetate pieces and the paper pieces that came with the kit, and there's almost too many to use, which is great because there's lots of different pieces that can be used in lots of different ways depending on how you are intending to journal. But I want to create one larger piece of ephemera. I'm wanting to create a large crown that you would wear on your head if you were a queen or perhaps the daughter of a king, which is what I was reflecting on in this particular faith journal process. So I'm actually going to use this envelope. This is the envelope that came with the kit, and I love that you can just use all the parts of this kit. And so this envelope is going to be the backing for a collage of ephemera pieces that I'm going to put together. And in that collage, I'm just going to use a lot of the different gorgeous pieces that I've loved. I'm setting aside the rest of the crowns that came in this particular kit. And I was reflecting on the fact that God sees us as adopted children. We are daughters of the King, beloved children of our creators. And the author challenges us not only to see ourselves like that, but to see others like that, to see others through the vision that Jesus sees them. And Jesus sees us for all of the possibility of love that lies within us. And sometimes, because of how this world is, people end up twisted in a way where that love can't escape. But it doesn't mean Jesus doesn't see them in that way. And so I just thought that was such a beautiful concept to think of the fact that we all belong, that we're all loved. And when I am dealing with anger or I'm having trouble forgiving someone for something, and it can really injure a relationship, that's something that I really try to focus on, to ask God to let me see that person as He sees them, not just how I'm seeing them in the midst of this broken world, not as I'm seeing them in the midst of arguments or political strife or whatever it might be, but to see the person that God sees them as. So I have my little collage put together, and now I'm going to cut out the shape of that crown, and I'm using one of the ephemera crowns as my example, and it's really simple, just the three little sections with the jeweled tone at the top. I do end up cutting off some pieces that I will eventually take off and then reposition on my crown, if that makes sense. And this is just a fun way to use lots of little bits and pieces to get the feel of the kit. And I love the look of the collage. I think it's a very neat look, and I think it really encompasses this idea of how we're all part of this creation, and there's so much that goes into each person. And sometimes we only see a little part of a person, and God sees the whole picture. So we might just be seeing this little bits and pieces of someone's collage, and God is seeing the much bigger picture. And so my prayer is that Jesus would just continue to open my eyes to see people as he sees them. So I'm filling in a few bits of the crown here and there just to make it look a little bit more complete. There ended up being some of the translucent spots at the top. I love this word pause. I think that is fantastic, especially when you are in conflict with someone or something, to take that moment to pause, have that prayer, have God open up your eyes to see what that person, see it from their perspective. Just pause before that response. And I think that really helps us have a more measured Jesus-like response to all kinds of situations. So I'm going to trim up my crown here, and then it will go onto my page. I think it turned out super cute. Love it. And I love how even though these two pages are different journal entries, they're going to coordinate really nicely together. And then we're just going to kind of cluster them with the other crowns that were included in the kit, because that was kind of the theme for the whole page. As I was beginning to secure things onto this page, I started thinking of where I would do my actual journaling. I knew that I was going to be putting my verse on this card that would be in right behind the crown, but I knew I wanted to add like a prayer journal. And so a really great way of doing that if you don't have a lot of room is to create a tip-in. And a tip-in is where you just have an extra cardstock piece, an extra paper piece of some sort that you adhere to the side of your journal. You only adhere one side of it using usually washi tape to create a kind of hinge so that it almost adds an additional page, or at least an additional element to the page. And then you can have more writing space, more journaling space, something like that. So I'll be creating a tip in to go in this particular page just so that I have room to add the journaling. I really can't write on top of the washi tape very well. So this is me kind of considering what am I going to do, and I'm going to add one more little element right here. It says messy and beautiful, because I think that's how God calls us to love. It's not always easy to forgive. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's hard, but it always is beautiful. Here is the tip-in card that I'm going to use. It's actually the thank you card that comes with the kit. I love that there's a beautiful design on one side of the card, so you can always cover up Shauna's really sweet note and then write on the back of it and really get the most out of all the elements of your kit. So I'm just covering it with some thick white paper, and I will trim that out and decorate the back just a little bit. There is a beautiful sticker that says and it kind of captures the Be Thou My Vision theme, and I'm going to put that on the back. But first I'm going to add a little bit of stitching detail around the edge. I could have done this with my sewing machine, but I opted to just pull out a pen and add just a little stitching detail here and there to add a little bit more decorative flair. And then I will put that sticker in place and be ready to add my prayer. And once I write out the prayer, the last thing I'm going to do is write out the scripture verse reference, and that is Proverbs 2:2, where it says, "Tune your ears to wisdom and concentrate on understanding." And in order to do that, I'm going to write it on the journaling card that I had over on the spread, and I'll use my calligraph pens. I love those from Archer and Olive. They are my new favorite lettering pen. I like both sides. It has a really, really broad tip and a more fine tip. Both are really great for lettering, and I've been practicing with them in my daily lettering practice and have really enjoyed how they work. So I'll be using that pen to finish up this entry. Otherwise, this one's done. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I will link all of the supplies that I use down below, so be sure to check out Illustrated Faith to see if this kit is still in stock. I'll have it linked, and I'll have some of the extra goodies linked as well. I also want to give a huge shout out to my Scrappy Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you want to find out more about Patreon, some of the perks you can receive, like early access to videos and extra content throughout the month, then make sure to check out that link in the description box below, and you'll find out all of the info that you need. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, Keep it creative.